it is every parent's fear, that their child's babysitter is being abusive while they're at work and the child is home. This is Scott, and his fear became very, very real. You see, Scott suspected that the woman caring for his severely handicapped 11-year-old daughter, Angelica, was mistreating her. Unfortunately, Scott was right. The proof was on videotape. This is Scott's story. As a single parent, it was Scott Halcom's worst nightmare captured on tape. A nurse hired to care for his daughter, allegedly abusing her. What's worse is that Scott's 11-year-old daughter, Angelica, is a quadriplegic who cannot walk, talk, and has trouble seeing and hearing.
She can't even raise her hands to protect herself.
Scott began to have his suspicions about the nurse when he noticed physical and emotional changes in his daughter.
When I came home, right away I saw that Angelica had a black eye and a busted mouth, and when I questioned the nurse, she said that she dropped her head when she was picking her up. It bumped her shoulder and caused it.
But Scott did not believe her. He began reviewing surveillance tapes from cameras that were installed in the house. Oddly enough, the nurse had been told of the cameras, but that did little to discourage the alleged abuse.
Don't start flipping around.
Hours and hours of videotapes with all the abuse and her picking her up and throwing her on the bed and putting her upside down in her wheelchair and just calling her all kinds of horrible names.
There's no use in your actions, girl.
Watch as the nurse becomes impatient and smacks Angelica.
Now I see it. I'm not going to fight with you today.
Now look as the nurse throws Angelica onto her bed like a rag doll.
You know, at times she would look towards the cameras as if she was looking, looking for me to help her.
2 years later.
Yes, sir.
And you still have trouble dealing with that?
Yes. Yes, sir.
You didn't pick that nurse, did you?
Definitely not.
Who picked the nurse?
It was an agency that, was in the community.
And now you see your daughter in these tapes, helpless, completely helpless. So the first time you saw, apparently after the black eye,
Yes.
is when you started to look at the tapes, right?
Yes.
And when you saw what was happening, what'd you do?
Initially, I waited for her to leave my home, and when she left my home, I poured through all the tapes, and that's when I realized that it was over and above what I ever dreamed of would have been happening to her. And the next day, I took Angelica to the doctor, and once again, my suspicions, I knew she was abused. I knew it was child abuse. Her doctor confirmed, yes, indeed, that's child abuse. And then I went to the police.
And what did a woman say when she was confronted by the police?
She denied it.
What happened to her?
She was given a $200 fine and 5 years probation. She also lost her nursing license in the state of Ohio because I pursued that.
But now your daughter is being cared for by another nurse?
Oh, yes. I have an independent nurse, a nurse that I went out and hired myself.
And you're satisfied with her?
Yes, sir.
When you look at Angelica, do you think that she blames it?
Definitely not. She's everything.
And you think she's getting better?
Definitely.
In terms of her emotional behavior?
She's shown a lot of improvement.
Right.
It took a long time.
Right. And you're just worried that the scars won't heal?
Right.
Well, let's pray that they do. I know you're doing the right thing, and you should be congratulated. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. You okay?
Yes.
Today we're bringing you shocking stories of